guys, so we are putting in these downpipes for McLaren 570S, and we're going to be kind of going over that. First thing you're going to need to do is take the wheels and fender liners out, so we're going to do that right now. Alright, the next thing we're going to do here is take the fender liners off. These are pretty easy. They're going to be T30s here, and somebody left one loose there, and then 10 mil bolts. So we need to take the rear and the front fender liners off. This is where we're going to get to the oxygen sensors. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this top piece off here. This is going to be what allows these pipes to come up and wiggle out of the engine bay there. So it's just 8 mils on either side. Will allow that top piece to come out, and then you're going to have to take these two 8 mils off to pull this away and then feed it through the bottom there. Alright, so we're doing these two bolts here, these two bolts, and then there's two, one here, one back here, and this can come out. You just gotta ease it. This is gonna come up and slide out there, then that can come out. Alright, now we have access to the top of the cats here, so we're going to take these external Torx off. Alright, yeah, so this is a 7mm bolt. These go down the cats, and then down here in the bottom where the cats are also, it's going to be one here, one up top there. So you'll actually have to loosen it back from the turbo to get that bolt out. One here and one here, and that'll free up the bottom. And then you're going to, these you can bend up a little bit to try to get them out, but you can also just try to like push one inside and one back this way and slide the cat out. And then of course the oxygen sensors is the upstream and here's the downstream, and you're going to need this little attachment here, and it's easy, you can get those on and off from outside the car. These when they lost them. So these are now loose enough now where you can get these on, and as you can see, like, this is pretty marred up here where they like probably tried to get these in and out without taking the shields off. It's way easier to take them off and not have them all like cramped up in there, and the cats will come out. Now to get that V-band off, we're going to use, I believe it's an 11 mil for the V-band clamp down in there, so you can see like where I'm at right there. And yeah, and another thing people do is they over tighten these V-bands. These V-bands, they hold the metal together, but at the same time they don't like the tighter you get it, it does not improve the connection. Like once it's slid together, you just need it to be tight enough where it's not going to back out. So okay, so now I've got it loose. To get that thing off, we're just going to take the pry bar and stick it in between the edge of the V-band and just pry up like this. And there, you can see it like popped off. So that one popped off. We'll do the same with the bottom. There's another view here. A bit easier. And you can bend that heat shield. Who cares? Okay, cool. Now the whole thing is loose. Now that the whole thing is loose, we're actually gonna go ahead and pull this all the way off. This is not like the Lamborghini ones that have enough play. This is where they usually use the anti-seize right here. And I'll show you a trick about these in a minute too, once we get this up. Okay, I'm gonna show you a trick about those too. And then you're going to need to take that mount right there off. So The new one does not come with a new mount. It needs to be pressed down, but I just find it easier to take those bolts loose and then grease that up and take it off outside of the car, and then put it on the new one outside of the car. Okay, cool. So we don't want to lose those. We take those right there. And now this side over here still has those lower bolts holding on, so we're going to use this. Get those top two heat shield bolts out. Hopefully these are back to the factory ones, so there's 7s. Okay, cool. So now this cat should be ready to come out. We gotta pull that inner shield right here out. So you can see all I do is pull it up and forward, pull it back out, and drop it down. Come right on now. You just slide this off. We're gonna put some grease on there, slide that off, and pop it onto the new ones here. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this heat shield in the car. Just make sure these little tabs are like pushed near the hole, because they may come out of alignment and then you won't get the bolts in them. So before we put the new cat in, you can like push this little thing down in there to hold it better. Check those out, make sure they're good. And then also there is a gasket here. Just be careful, that may fall out. Make sure that goes back in. And then with these clamps, if you have the other bottom panel off, you can loosen both of them up. However, I don't do that. What I do is this piece it should swivel here, and neither of them really want to. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray a bunch of WD-40 in there and wiggle them back and forth until they're smooth, and that'll make it much easier to get it to line up and get the pieces to go together, because right now it doesn't want to bend and like go the way it should. So we'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so now as you can see here, we got like ones that like it's easily moves it around, and this one not so much, but it does wiggle some. So a little bit of that WD-40 in there really opens it up, and that'll make it a lot easier to put it back on. And we didn't loosen the other side, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. We'll put this back up there, put the gasket in there, and slide the new cat in. All right, so make sure you use the heat shields. This one, see how it has this is a heat shield as well. It's a heat insulator for the oxygen sensor. There's supposed to be another one here, but it's missing, and I don't see it. This exhaust before didn't do it right. But if you don't use those heat shields, this will happen. See, you'll get melted parts like that. So, and this isn't even, this is downstream of the cast. This is just where the exhaust is. It shouldn't even be that hot there. So make sure you use it.